Hello and welcome to The Heavens Have Spoken. Today we will read all verses that has the word resurrection in it. Wheresoever you find the dead, take them and bury them, and I will give you the first place in my resurrection. 4 Ezra 2:23. So when he was ready to die, he said thus, It is good, being put to death by men, to look for hope from Elohim to be raised up again by him. As for you, you shall have no resurrection to life. 2 Maccabees 7:14. And when he had made a gathering throughout the company to the sum of 2,000 drachmas of silver, he sent it to Jerusalem to offer a sin offering, doing therein very well and honestly, in that he was mindful of the resurrection. 2 Maccabees 12:43. The same day came to him the Sadducees, which say that there is no resurrection, and asked him, Matthew 22:23. Therefore in the resurrection, whose woman shall she be of the 7? For they all had her. Matthew 22:28. For in the resurrection they neither marry, nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of El in heaven. Matthew 22:30. But as touching the resurrection of the dead, have ye not read that which was spoken unto you by Elohim, saying, Matthew 22:31, and came out of the graves after his resurrection, and went into the holy city, and appeared unto many. Matthew 27:53. Then come unto him the Sadducees, which say there is no resurrection. And they asked him, saying, Mark 12:18, In the resurrection therefore, when they shall rise, whose woman shall she be of them? For the 7 had her as his woman. Mark 12:23. And you shall be blessed, for they cannot recompense you, for you shall be recompensed at the resurrection of the just. Luke 14:14. Then came to him certain of the Sadducees, which deny that there is any resurrection. And they asked him, Luke 20:27. Therefore in the resurrection, whose woman of them is she? For 7 had her as his woman. Luke 20:33. But they which shall be accounted worthy to obtain that world, and the resurrection from the dead, neither marry, nor are given in marriage. Luke 20:35. Neither can they die any more, for they are equal unto the angels, and are the children of Elohim, being the children of the resurrection. Luke 20:36. Beginning from the baptism of Yahusha unto that same day that he was taken up from us, must one be ordained to be a witness with us of his resurrection. Acts 1:22. He seeing this before spoke of the resurrection of Mashiach, that his soul was not left in Sheol, neither his flesh did see corruption. Acts 2:31. Being grieved that they taught the people, and preached through Yahusha the resurrection from the dead. Acts 4:2. And with great power gave the apostles witness of the resurrection of Adonai Yahusha, and great grace was upon them all. Acts 4:33. Then certain philosophers of the Epicureans and of the Stoics encountered him. And some said, What will this babbler say? Others some, He seems to be a setter forth of strange Elohim, because he preached unto them Yahusha and the resurrection. Acts 17:18. And when they heard of the resurrection of the dead, some mocked, and others said, We'll hear you again of this matter. Acts 17:32. But when Paul perceived that the one part were Sadducees, and the other Parashim, he cried out in the council, Men and brethren, I am a Parashi, the son of a Parashi. Of the hope and resurrection of the dead, I am called in question. Acts 23:6. For the Sadducees say that there is no resurrection, neither angel nor ruach, but the Parashim confess both. Acts 23:8. And have hope toward Elohim, which they themselves also allow, that there shall be a resurrection of the dead, both of the just and unjust. Acts. Except it be for this one voice, that I cried standing among them, touching the resurrection of the dead, I am called in question by you this day. Acts 24-21. Blessed be the Elohim and Father of our Adonai, Yahusha HaMashiach, which according to his abundant mercy has begotten us anew unto a lively hope by the resurrection of Yahusha HaMashiach from the dead. 1 Peter 1-3. The like figure whereunto even baptism does also now save us, not the putting away of the filth of the flesh, but the answer of a good conscience toward Elohim, by the resurrection of Yahusha HaMashiach. 1 Peter 3:21. And declared to be the Son of Elohim with power, according to the Ruach HaKodesh, by the resurrection from the dead. Romans 1-4. For if we have been planted together in the likeness of his death, we shall be also in the likeness of his resurrection. Romans 6-5. Who concerning the truth have erred, saying that the resurrection is past already, and overthrow the faith of some. 2 Timothy 2:18. Now, if Mashiach be preached that he rose from the dead, how say some among you that there is no resurrection of the dead? 1 Corinthians 15:12. But if there be no resurrection of the dead, then is Mashiach not risen? 1 Corinthians 15:13. For since by man came death, by man came also the resurrection of the dead. 1 Corinthians 15:21. So also is the resurrection of the dead. It is sown in corruption, it is raised in incorruption. 1 Corinthians 15:42. That I may know him, and the power of his resurrection, and the fellowship of his sufferings, being made conformable unto his death. Philippians 3:10. If by any means I might attain unto the resurrection of the dead. Philippians 3:11. Of the doctrine of baptisms, and of laying on of hands, and of resurrection of the dead, and of eternal judgment. Hebrews 6:2. Women received their dead raised to life again, and others were tortured, not accepting deliverance, that they might obtain a better resurrection. Hebrews 11:35. And shall come forth, they that have done good, unto the resurrection of life, and they that have done evil, unto the resurrection of damnation. John 5:29. Martha said unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day. John 11:24. Yahusha said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believes in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. John 11:25. But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Revelation 20-5. Blessed and holy is he that has part in the first resurrection. On such the second death has no power, but they shall be priests of Elohim and of Mashiach, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. Revelation 22:6. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe.